The weirdest recruitment in high school basketball in the year of 2025 has finally come to its long awaited conclusion. Nate Ament, 5-star small forward, number 3 overall player in the country, has committed to Tennessee. He chooses Tennessee over, amongst others, Louisville, Duke, and Kentucky. But there were plenty of schools involved in Nate Ament's recruitment from the very jump. Reminder, when I say this is a weird recruitment, say it's weird because Nate Ament seemed to flip from the school he was expected to choose like 19 times. We heard that it was supposed to be Louisville, and then we heard that it was supposed to be Kentucky, and then we heard that it was supposed to be Duke. We never really heard that it was supposed to be Tennessee. And all along the way, he had that partnership with Stake, some company, no free ads, but some company that basically does crowdfunding, like a GoFundMe to get your favorite recruit. And if he commits, he ends up getting the money from the GoFundMe. I don't have the numbers from Stake to see what he actually got at Tennessee, but I'm pretty sure there was $87,000 for him if he committed to Louisville.
Hmm.
And he did not commit to Louisville. So the Stake partnership ended up not mattering all that much here. For what it's worth, Nate Ament, in speaking on why he ended up choosing Tennessee, mentioned the name of the one and only Kevin Durant and said that Coach Barnes sees me as a one and done player. He's done it before with Kevin Durant. He sees me as that kind of guy. It is no doubt a big get for Tennessee. What's your reaction to Nate Ament's choice?
So look, I think that there's upside there with Amen, and obviously he's a good player right now. I think that he's classic, like needs to be stronger, needs college weight room, nutrition, all that. Like I think that's gonna come. Um, but I do think that given his size, his release point on where he shoots from, he's a tough player to stop. And if Rick Barnes did approach it like I can sell you to make you KD. I could see why Nate Ament would want to buy into that. And I think there's also a clear role for him to be the guy for Tennessee next year. Like I think I have Jacoby Gillespie involved with that team, obviously, but outside of that, they were kind of looking for a bigger guy to add, and Ament, I think, falls into that fold. Where if you look as to the other options here, Duke, even Louisville, a lot of guards at Louisville. Which might take away from Amen a little bit. But they do have some openings in the front court area, I guess. And then you have Duke, who already has Cam Boozer in the fold, and I think Amen probably wants to be what they're gonna make Cam Boozer. So uh, I don't know. This option makes sense to me, where I thought is Duke was gonna get it done.
Yeah, I never had a good feel on this. I have been on record basically every step of the way. I think on multiple videos with you, not loving Nate Ament, for lack of a better way to put it. Not to say I'm not like a believer that he is a pro or a high upside player. I think he's going to be very good at Tennessee. He'll probably have a very good season. That team will be good. This is a huge ad that does elevate Tennessee as a team in my mind. I'll get to that in a moment. But I hate the way Amen approached this recruitment. And in general, I'm just not a huge fan of his game, to be honest. I think he's one of those guys who's very clearly a better prospect than he is a player, and I hate those guys. As someone who loves college basketball, I think those guys more often than not do not live up to the winning side of their equation. They go spend their 1 year, they don't even want to be where they are for that year. They leave immediately. The team they're on usually goes through the motions and tries to figure it out. I have great experience of this from the Juwan Howard era at Michigan. Bunch of program, every good program in the country's dealt with this at some point. Amet, to me, he could have the worst season possible. He'll be a pro. We interrupt this sleepers video to tell you about an offer from Underdog Fantasy. Cart, you love Underdog Fantasy, correct?
Of course I do. Can I have a moment real quick?
Please. Thank you for that. In fact, I'm going to cut you off because our listeners like when we keep these short and sweet. Underdog Fantasy. Sign up as a new user. Use promo code SLEEPERS. Get bonus funds up to $1,000, 50% of your deposit match. The NBA playoffs are rocking right now. I played Underdog last week with a Cade Cunningham line. I'm looking forward to doing it throughout the entire first round of the NBA playoffs, but there's more. You can place picks on golf. You can place picks on baseball. You can place picks on the NHL playoffs that are rocking right now. Join Underdog Fantasy, promo code Sleepers. Support this show so that we can keep bringing videos to you. Back to the video. He if he could go pro right now, I think he would go pro. I don't think he cares about college at all. I think he approached this recruitment as if he doesn't care about college at all. I think he chose Tennessee, and the quote he gave speaks to exactly all he tells himself. I'm Kevin Durant. He probably says 7 I'm Kevin Durant's before going to bed every single night. The problem, notoriously here with Nate Ament, he's not Kevin Durant. Nate Ament is, in my opinion, every time I've watched him, not as good as the stars next to his name say they are. Watched him in some of the prep events recently this week. What was it? The Nike Hoop Summit. He was horrible.
Yeah.
He was a disaster at Nike Hoop Summit. So look, I do trust Rick Barnes. Like I think of places to go, a Rick Barnes team is probably one of the most steady in the country. You know they're going to be a great defense. Right now, Jacoby Gillespie, I love that ad. Like you think about a team built around Gillespie in the backcourt, Amen on the wing, and theoretically Apara at center. I see the vision with that team. That's a pretty good team. But if you're expecting this dude to be like your Dalton Connect, Chaz Lanier, carry the offense, score 20 every single night guy, I think there's going to be a lot of growing pains along the way.
Yeah, and hoping Gillespie can be a guy that takes some pressure off of him so he doesn't have to be. And I think he can. But look, the potential I think is always going to be there with Amen, given his size and that he can, shoot it, handle a little bit. It's all there, right? There are some things that need to be fine-tuned and put together to get to the point where I think he is what he is in his head. But he's more Quincy Miller than he is Kevin Durant. I'll say that.
Yeah. Yeah, to that point, we mentioned I think he had 0 points in the Hoop Summit. He was awful. They just had the Jordan Brand Classic this weekend. He played the least minutes of every player in the event. He was the only player at the Jordan Brand Classic that did not play double-digit minutes in the event. Like, I don't think this kid's anywhere close to the third best player in this class. I think he's the third best player in this class, much like a Scalabissiere was, where it's like, oh my God, if he put it together, a 6'10 dude with those skills, he hasn't put it together. I don't think he is going to put it together at Tennessee. It's like all theoretical with him. And it will be, for me, it's going to be really fun to watch Rick Barnes try and figure that out because I feel like, at least in recent years where Tennessee's been really good, Rick Barnes has been doing this with complete products. Like Dalton Connect arrived to Tennessee ready to be Dalton Connect. I think
Right.
Chaz Lanier did the same. I don't think Nate Ament's at all in that category.
Yeah. We'll see.
So where do you have Tennessee preseason next year though with Ament in the fold? Because I'm intrigued.
I am too. I also don't think they're done either. Like not with high school. I think they're on Rodney Rice's final list. That'd be interesting to see if they get him in the fold. Also, like just somebody else, I think. But Tennessee would be a top 10 team.
Honestly, you take the Maryland backcourt that just played with Derek Queen and have them play with Nate Ament for a year. I'm pretty intrigued by that because I think their experience playing with Queen could help them with Ament.
I agree.
Also, shout out to Rick Barnes for using a player from 2005 as or whatever year that was as his recruiting pitch in 2025.
Honestly though, but can you got to do that. Like you did do that. You coached Kevin Durant. I would use that all the way up until I'm not coaching anymore.
Yeah, I just like was Jim Boeheim also promising like I don't know who were the late like Judah Mintz was Jim Boeheim like you're my Carmelo like
Yeah, it probably was. Also, I don't know if Jim Boeheim has the drive like that to make that pitch.
yeah, probably not. Well, congrats to Tennessee. Congrats to Rick Barnes. Congrats to Nate Ament on duping everyone every step of the way.